Hello everyone, welcome back for another edition of Virtual Yin Yoga. I'm your instructor Mike. I'm happy to have you with me this evening. What we're going to do for tonight's practice, this is a specialty practice for the sciatic nerve. Most people in their lives are going to deal with sciatic nerve pain. It's one of the most common issues that you're going to face, and it stems a lot from issues with the hips, specifically your IT bands. So we're going to focus a lot on that, and we're also going to focus on other ways to manipulate the SI joints themselves, your sacroiliac joints, in case you're curious to know what that is. Those are the joints in the back of your hips. You can kind of feel like the dimples of it if you reach back there and touch them above the tailbone. So that's what we're going to focus on. But you may want to grab some props, a yoga mat, always a useful prop unless you got carpet, lay on that. Hand towel, you might need maybe more for cushion, not necessarily for like a strap as leverage. You may want to have a yoga block, you may want to have some pillows, some blankets, whatever prop you need. Just pause the video, go ahead and grab them, and when you have them, come back and resume this video. And when you're ready, let's go ahead and close our eyes. We're going to lay on our backs just to start this one off. Focus on the breath a little bit. Breathe low in your belly and low in your diaphragm. Turn your senses, your awareness within, and just observe how you feel in this current moment. You know, compare yourself to maybe how you feel or felt last week, and maybe even further into the past. And then also try to reflect on, where do you want to go with your practice? What does the future of your yoga practice look like for you? When you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. And we're going to start our practice off in a slightly different way. Since we're not doing a lot of spine work for our practice today, let's just go ahead and we'll do some gentle movement. I like to just sit here and twist from side to side. You know, maybe you can crack your back a little bit here and there. It's not no big deal, right? It's not the worst thing in the world if you can't crack your back. If you can, go for it. Save yourself that money from the chiropractor. Not that I'm putting them down, but you can crack yourself in a lot of useful ways. And in this practice, you might actually do that, especially for your SI joints. But with the sciatic nerve, just in case you're not familiar with it, you have this really, really big nerve that runs here from the back of your hips around the SI joint itself, the sacroiliac joint, through the glutes, and through the IT band. It runs down the whole leg. But this particular nerve, a lot of people used to think that the reason why you were having issues with it was because somewhere in your SI joint, those bones are squeezing it. That is common, but we're finding out it's actually more common that somewhere in the IT band is the actual issue. And the reason why, the IT band itself can sometimes wrap around the nerve and start squeezing it. And when it squeezes that nerve, you start to feel all that pain radiate throughout the side of your leg, up your glutes, up your back kind of thing. So again, we're going to focus a lot on the IT bands. A lot of times it's going to be solving the issue. But we will also do SI joint work, more mobility practices versus just general stretching. But we will start with some general stretches. I'll show you a few of them for the IT band. I think one of the most common that we do here is the swan pose, which we also call pigeon if you've done any other style of yoga. It's the outside of the front leg here, right, that's going to get this particular stretch. Now, a lot of ways to do this. You can have your shin parallel with the top of your mat, or you can always bend to your knee to bring your foot in closer to the groin. Just whatever's going to protect your hip and knee, that's what you need to do. It doesn't matter what you look like. And you lean forward. Start with your hands. Maybe you work to your elbows. Maybe you have your head on the block, head on the pillows. If you can get your head to the floor, go for it. Not a big deal though if you can't. Again, still outside the leg, getting the stretch. The more you lean in, the more aggressive the stretch will become. And then the back leg can be adjusted. I sort of have it brought around me to the side, where you could always do this other option of having the back leg straight behind you. This particular one mostly is known as pigeon pose. It's the same thing really. Still focusing on the front leg, not the back leg. So don't worry about what that back leg looks like. Again, we're gonna hold this for about 2-3 minutes. And if you struggle with sciatic nerve pain, if it's something that's just a reoccurring issue for you, this is a series that you should be doing like every single day. And that's why we're not going to hold these poses for the 3, 4, 5 minutes that we normally do. We're going to do it for about 2 minutes because it is possible to overstretch something. But if we don't hold it for so long, we're less likely to overstretch it just over the long term. So about 2 minutes with our poses today. And just so we know, 2 minutes is better than no minutes. Right? Any amount of yoga is better than no yoga. Now go ahead and take a few deep breaths. When you're ready, there's your time. It's about 2 minutes there. Really slowly, in this pose, you're going to want to kind of like roll out. I usually will just lay right back down and hang here for a moment. Short breather. Can you sense how different that one leg feels? Other side, when you're ready, whatever side you happen to be on here. But it is the front leg that gets the stretch for the pigeon and swan pose. Again, they're the same thing, it just depends on the style of yoga you're doing. I kind of go back and forth between their names. But again, outside of the front leg is the target area here. You can have your shin parallel top of the mat, or you can bend your knee to bring your foot in close to the groin. Just whatever protects your knee is what you need to do. But a lot of times, bending that knee is what's going to protect it. So you lean forward, hands, elbows, head on the block, head on the floor if you can get there. If not, don't worry about it. It's not that big a deal. Back leg can be straight behind you. You can bring that back leg around to the side. Whichever one just objectively feels better for you. Remember to breathe. Your deep inhales, deep exhales. Yield to the stretch as best as you can. Don't worry about being aggressive with it. The deeper you go is not necessarily the best thing for you. Now, over time, you're going to notice the increased mobility and flexibility, but in the actual practice itself, when it's happening in the moment, don't worry about the depth of it. The more you do it, though, the more you'll notice, hey, this is a little bit easier. I can go a little bit deeper into it. And again, even if it's only for 2 minutes, it's ideal for you. 2 or 3 minutes is the minimum that I would really recommend for you here. Important to keep up on, right? And one of the reasons why I like to keep these videos short is so that you don't feel so obligated to do an hour-long yoga practice. I know for a lot of people, including myself, some days I just don't have an hour, but I have 15 minutes, and so do you. And if you're telling me right now that you don't have 15 minutes of your day to do yoga, you are lying to yourself, because you do. You just gotta make the time for it, right? That's so important for us. We just have to discipline ourselves to make that time. But the more you do it, the more in that routine you become, the easier it is for you, and the less you start to resent the practice. And hopefully you never do. But some people do, unfortunately. Go ahead and take a few deep breaths, and when you're ready, there's your time. Just really slowly letting yourself out. Lay back. Right? Gentle breather. going to do some SI mobility exercises. Again, the IT band stretches were targeting any issues that might be happening with sciatic nerve through this area, which again is usually the most common. But the next most common, let me flip over for you, is right here in the back of your hips. You have these two really, really big joints, your SI joint, sacroiliac joint. For a lot of people, the reason why it becomes an issue is because it's not moving enough. And this takes years and years and years for this to happen. But with a thing that's called fixation, which means your joints are temporarily stuck together, the longer a joint stays fixated, the more so it has a chance to fuse. And if you're familiar with fusion of joints, I tell you, but you know as well as I do, it's not a good thing. And if you're not familiar with it, just so you know, when a joint fuses, it is no longer a joint, it is now a bone, so it's not moving anymore. And when the SI joints start to fuse, you start having issues with bending over because your spine has to do more work. And then when your spine starts bothering you, you have to bend more from your knees. And then your knees start bothering you, right? So it's just like a whole avalanche kind of issue, right? That snowball that turns into the avalanche. So let's prevent it from happening by just keeping it mobile. And this is sort of a difficult one for me to explain, but I'm really going to do my best here. And I hope you can pick up on it as well. But you're going to lay on your back here. This is going to involve a little bit of muscular effort. You're actually going to be squeezing your glutes here, your butt muscles, in case you're not sure what that is. So what you'll do, I'll try to use my hands to signal where you are. Squeeze your left glute, squeeze your right, let go of the left, let go of the right. Squeeze the right, squeeze the left, let go of the right, let go of the left, and back and forth with it. Squeeze the left, squeeze the right, let go of the left, let go of the right. Squeeze the right, squeeze the left, let go of the right, let go of the left. And again, squeeze the left, squeeze the right, let go of the left, let go of the right. Squeeze the right, squeeze the left, let go of the right, let go of the left. And now at your own pace with this, right? Now you're starting to get the motion. And I like to imagine it's more like a wave, right? It's a nice steady movement as opposed to very robotic, right? We're not robots, we're humans, and we like to flow, right? So try to feel that motion. Now make sure you balance. And by that, I mean you're going to end it with squeezing the right and squeezing the left, letting go of the right, let go of the left. Because we started with the other side, right? And then when you feel that balance, just lay here for a moment. Maybe you try to bring your knees up to your chest. You may notice some crackles and pops. There it is for me, I felt that. Now, you might not hear it, it might not be really audible, but you'll definitely be able to sense like those little pops there, which is a really good thing because that's a release of fixation. That means the joint is no longer stuck together. It is now free and able to move. We got one more that we're going to do. And this one is going to involve using your feet. So what you're going to do, let's go ahead, we'll do it one at a time. Point your left foot down. Relax the right. Point that left toe as far as you can. Now relax it. And now do the right side. Point the right foot forward. Maybe I'll use my hands here again. Right hand, point for the right foot. Bring it back. Left hand for the left foot. Bring it back. Right hand, right foot. Bring it back. Left hand, left foot. Bring it back. Right hand, right foot. Bring it back. And just alternate between the two. Right? You can feel the literal shift of your pelvis here. When you point the toe down, that whole hip goes down. And the other one will come up. And it just vice versa here, right? Just kind of like back and forth with it. And again, this is something you need to be doing every day if you struggle with SI joint pain, because you want to keep those joints mobile, right? I mean, seriously, it's one of the most common areas to fuse just through age and lack of movement. So let's keep it mobile, right? And again, making sure you balance with it. We started on the left side, so ended on the right. And when you're ready, lay down here. And again, take a moment. When you're ready, you can bring the knees up to the chest. Once again, slight crackles and pops here. It's really, really nice. Tell I needed that today. Some days you just know. You get into a pose like that and it clicks in your brain like, yep, really needed that one. And when you're ready, we're at the end of our practice, shorter one tonight. But again, the reason why we did it was for a very specific reason: sciatic nerve pain and possible SI joint pain, because they're just so intimately related with each other. That's why I wanted to knock those out today. But when you're ready, go ahead and lay on your back. Close your eyes. There's nothing to see at this point, just more to feel, pay attention to. Start by focusing on the breath and breathing low in your belly, low in your diaphragm. Turn your senses, your awareness within, and really do your best to feel all that work that you did in your hips. Feel the outside of your legs, feel the back of your hips, maybe even the front of your hips. Take the note of those experiences. Try to observe them. Don't judge them. Don't label them. Just observe them for what they are. No formal ending to our practice. Keep your eyes closed as long as you'd like. That's officially all that I have for you. I want to thank you for watching and sharing your practice with me. It's been my pleasure. Namaste.